I would like to welcome everyone to this CHEK e-learning platform and training modules webinar, which is related, of course, to the CHEK project funded by the European Union. And we are particularly here in the scope of Work Package 5 for upskilling and reskilling the construction value chain, where we have developed a practice-oriented CHEK training for the purposes of training and dissemination of the results of the project. And my name is Miguel Azaña. I am one of the team members of the University of Minho team that has led the Work Package 5 in this project. And I will now guide all the interested parties. So not only those present today, but also those watching the recording, which will be hosted in our YouTube channel, to at least have a kickstart to access our e-learning platform. But of course, before that, it's important to provide a little bit of scope. I would presume that everyone watching this already knows what CHEK is about in general, so I'll just briefly address that. That started in October 2022, and for a 3-year long period, this project has been involving 19 partners from 11 countries throughout Europe, and with a goal that is a broad goal of speeding up, and I would even say improving the quality of verification of regulatory compliance of works subject to prior control. So we are talking about the permits for future construction, which are different in several countries of the world, and of course within Europe we found also differences that we have recorded, but the principle of the CHEK DBP toolkit was to bring a set of tools that would allow us to improve and streamline the processes of digital building permitting. So this is not a tool by itself that does everything, but a set and a group of tools that will allow us to go somewhere much farther than what we were before starting this project. And this set of tools, at least we are suspicious because we are members of the project, but we consider them to be very, very interesting. And while I was speaking, you were checking also the partners of this project that cover a lot of ground in Europe, and in particularly end users such as municipalities, which are in the end the final goal, municipalities and designers to serve society. So there are some major keywords that we have in the CHEK project that I think they are important, that we are speaking about the digital processes. First of all, we are very much focused on interoperability in the sense that data must be able to flow in between the several stakeholders according to open processes and well understood processes between them all. So interoperability is a key aspect. Of course, we are speaking also about technology, because all this digitalization and digitization, whatever you want to call it, will rely heavily on technology and even on software. And in this project in particularly, we were worried since the beginning in a scalability, meaning that whatever would be the result of this project would be scalable, so that we could establish the basis for something that could grow apart from the project and grow towards wider goals. And I do believe that we achieved that. And one of the fundamental pillars, which is the last one that I'm speaking, but is the one that is highlighted in the middle, is the upskilling and reskilling, meaning that, of course, the world already existed before digital building permits. Society was and is operating okay. It needs improvements, of course, but of course, the people are amongst the most important things in these processes, and particularly those that submit the processes and those that receive the processes and evaluate the processes of permitting. And these people require upskilling and reskilling, in the sense that there are new things coming in, and professionals need to be capable of doing these things while being the professionals they were before. So if you're a technician at a municipality, you will still be a technician at a municipality, but you have new tools and new ways of communicating. The same goes for an architect submitting a process for the permitting. And you will be the same, but you will have new competencies and you have new tools, and all of this hopefully will bring us to a better world in general. Okay, so the training that we have prepared is focused on these 7 main aspects if we look at the complete training, not every target audiences will see the complete training. The complete training is only for one target audience, which is the municipality technicians. So we have two other audiences. We get smaller extents of this, but let me just go through this, and I think it will be very clear. So one that is transversal to all audiences is understanding digital building permits, and this is something that even general stakeholders will understand and see why this is really relevant and why we need it. Then starting the next set of contents are more related to those people that are now involved in the processes, so the designers that are submitting and the municipalities. So all of them are included in both, except for this one, workflows, that is only for the technicians and municipalities. But speaking of them in general, key technologies. So we are going to speak what is enabling the possibility of digital building permits, how we manage information with a strong emphasis on BIM, then what is GeoBIM and the connection between BIM and the actual possibility of using GIS to support the exchange of information and the setting of requirements for the urban permitting. And the workflows, as I mentioned, is most related to municipalities' interests, in which municipalities are actually being able to follow a workflow and think of the workflow of what they are currently doing and what they should or could be doing in the future through digital building permits. Also, a next training area or objective, which is Open BIM for digital building permits. This is something that, as the building permits are frequently or most of the time managed by public entities, we should be embracing Open BIM and open formats towards digital building permits. And we are showing this in practice, even though it has been shown before in the global contents. And finally, I would say the main character in this movie is the CHEK toolkit. So the CHEK toolkit is presented. So the set of tools and ways of operation that were made in CHEK will be shown together as a toolkit. And the purpose of all the other training contents were exactly to give a person that is not really knowledgeable about BIM and GIS and GeoBIM and digital building permits. If you went through the previous contents, you should be able to understand the toolkit nicely and see what are the advantages you get from the toolkit. The toolkit doesn't have a single path. It will have more than one path, and there's more than one software company offering similar services to the same purpose. And this is also, I would say, celebrated in this training. Okay, so now let's go to the reason why we are here is actually the kickstart of the e-learning. So you can all access this link now. It's live, elearning.checkdbp.eu. And of course, enrollments are needed. As I said, there are three main courses available there, even though there's a fourth part which relates to the summer course that we delivered recently in Portugal. But these three courses that you see now, the municipality, the designers, and the other stakeholders would be the ones that I described before. And of course, you may log in and then you go through a process of registration. So for the sake of complete disclosure, we have a small video which goes through the process of what happens to you when you try to log in and you click login. Of course, you have to create a new account because you don't have an account at the moment of creation, of course. Here we created a test account named Domingo. This was made by Andre, our team member that has been responsible for this part and is going through the filling of this up to the end. And of course, you put country information and whatever. And you create an account. Of course, after this, there's a second step verification, which is to get the verification in your email. So you should go to your email account and just get the link for forwarding the verification code. And that's it. So once you click that verification code, you will be confirmed as enrolled, and then you can continue. So you will notice on the top right that you have a logo of your registration, and now you will be able to self-enroll in the course that you want. So here we are showing the self-enrollment in the municipality technicians course, which is the largest one, as I said, and then you will have a set of contents. One of them is a video that you see there, which is the introduction. It even covers a little bit of what we are showing now, but it's a little bit wider. And of course, then you will be inside the training e-learning, and you will be able to select the courses to which you are enrolled. So under the assumption that you have selected the municipality course, you have now here it's 0% complete, and in the other ones you may enroll to them as well, but I would recommend that you will only go through a single course. And maybe if you go to either the designers or other stakeholders and then think, oh, I want to see the full thing, why not go to municipalities and you see other contents that would be more important to municipality technicians, but many of the times you may just want to get further knowledge, so it's okay. So if you go to the course, so this is what the e-learning platform looks like. So you will have on the left-hand side all the learning objectives. So the understanding digital building permits, key technologies, information management. These were the sets that I mentioned before. There are 7 big chapters. And on these 7 big chapters, you will just go through them. These 7 big chapters, you actually see them here in learning objectives. Then again, I'm speaking about the municipality technicians course, which is the one that contains all these 7 contents. In the designers and in the other stakeholders course, you will have less. But if you want to witness everything, you can just go here and enroll here. We have an estimated time of completion of each module. We made it self-paced and we made it introductory level to some extent. So in a way that you don't require any prior knowledge to see it. And if you do have prior knowledge, you will just get a confirmation of what you actually already knew. But we made it so that it could democratize access to all the information. So as you go through this is just an example. Let's imagine you would be in the second or third learning objective, in this case, information management. You will click it if you already have access to it, because you need to unblock progressively the access to different learning objectives. And if you're in learning objective information management, then you can start to do your tasks. So your tasks will involve not only content, which can be in the form of video or some Instagram-like stories. This is what we created. And then you go through the quizzes, and the quizzes allow you to check if you manage to grasp the important contents. If you fail the quiz, you can take it back with actually the same questions, but maybe you want to go back and understand a little bit better why you failed, and then you go and, of course, get the correct answer. But don't be frightened at all. This is a very positive and forward-going course rather than evaluating course and a scary situation. Okay, it's really to get people on the loop. And this is what it looks when you select. So I'll just go one slide back. So if you click here, ISO 19650 series, you will go to this slide. And of course, hopefully, if the platform would have allowed us, this would pop up immediately, but you have to click on that increasing arrows, and then it looks like this. And as you see, we made it on purpose so that this is mobile phone friendly. We understood at some point, and even looking at many massive online courses, that people are just consuming content in a very standard way with videos that sometimes are very long, very boring. People lose interest in e-learning, and we try to go a slightly different way by creating some bite-size information, such as you would be seeing your TikTok or Instagram or whatever social media, and we created something that you will keep swiping and getting more information. Okay, some with some of course text, which is important, with some explanatory figures. Sometimes they are just context, other times they are actually schematics, and we go through some storytelling and with some fictitious examples. So we think that we created something that will be of use in that sense, that it will be less hard to digest than a traditional course, which is held in a very, just like I'm doing now, so in a very expositive manner and not so interactive. So as I mentioned before, after you take the content, so here this to do would already be marked as done, and you will be able to see the quiz, and you go through a quiz, and the quizzes are relatively small, sometimes 3, 4, 5 questions, not more than that. Sometimes it's a multiple choice, other times it's just drag and drop, and you would select the correct answer and go through the quiz, and then you will get a score. And if your score is not 100%, you should go back and try to get it right or watch the content again. On every learning content. So we were speaking about information management, in which you go through one, then the quiz, then the whatever, and then at the end you always have extra information. So we are aware that the content that was created in the course is of introductory level, and many of the times, even many of the people watching will have some knowledge already, and they want to know more. They want to go further. So we created on every learning objective, on every module, some extra information area, but it's important that you know that it's not mandatory. So the fact that you don't go through the extra information does not limit you from being considered as having finished the course. So this is just if you want to go further. So this is what it looks like. We frequently put links to either to contents of our project or to contents outside, of course. So it's really that straightforward. And yeah, going back to the big picture, let's imagine you go through the 7 learning contents in this course for municipalities. So it would be 1, 2, 3, and you go down, down, down up to the 7th, and you have finished everything. Eventually, after the last one, you will get to the feedback and certificate. Okay, so feedback and certificate means that you have reached the final part of the CHEK toolkit, and you are now able to get a certificate of what you did. So you answered all the questionnaires, you did all the content that was mandatory. Some of the content is not, as I mentioned before. For example, in the CHEK toolkit, there's a lot of videos that are available on YouTube. They are not mandatory, but at the end, you can get a certificate, which will make us very happy. Meaning, whenever we see that the platform issues a certificate, it means that someone survived the entire course and managed to get all the content. And of course, before getting the certificate, we are very keen on getting feedback, which will allow us even to improve or to add more knowledge or to understand more what the community in general needs from this type of course. So we would be very eager to get feedback, honest feedback, and very frank feedback. And then the certificate would be issued, which is a PDF, but it's traceable to the platform. So there's even a QR code in the PDF that allows you to go back to the platform and check authenticity. So apart from all this, and I'm almost finishing the monologue, as I would say, this is the what we had to present as the kick-starting of this entire process. There is a possibility not a possibility, there is an intent to host a Q&A webinar, and we call it also training on 8th September. So what we want to do on 8th September on a schedule that is not defined yet, but it will be a relatively small event as well. But we want to use it not only to collect feedback, but also to provide more information. So to some extent, all of those that up to the 8th September will have finished the course or at least enrolled to the course, we will send an email. We are hosting this at this time. It would be nice to host you in this event, and in this event you may ask for the questions. So this will also be a moment for discussion, and we can call it training because we can deploy even more information than there was in the course in a live manner and face it as a real training. Okay, so this would be sort of an open event, and in this event you would be actually from the beginning on a Q&A section. So that's it. So I would have to now declare that I finished what I had to present. I hope this was clear and helpful, and I hope that I motivated those present to enroll to the course and try to check it out and help us even make it better. We are still in time for some improvements for the course and to leave this for posterity after the CHEK project is finished. This will be around for at least a few years. Okay, and that's it. So